Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. And my name's Angela. I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady and welcome back to this week's Whips, Bits and Chat. Come on, let's go see what I got for you today. So first up this week, let's do our video catch up. There hasn't been that many for you. I'm not been too evil. I've been cracking on with a project for you for next month. Right, so the very first thing up was the book review. It was the Modern Crochet Shawls and Wraps by Laura Strutt. Hopefully I got the name correct. The video will be up here. There's some really interesting shawls in that one. Hopefully you liked it. Now the next video up was proper later on in the week, and of course it was the Fun Day Die Day. It was for Linda Simpson's yarn. Now some of you may have already sneaked a peek at Linda's yarn because she showed it on her live on, I think it was Monday. It was either Monday or Tuesday, but don't worry, her video is linked to the end screen of the Fun Day Die Day video, so it will take you straight over if you want to see what her reaction was like. I actually managed to jump up and I was alongside her when she was opening the parcel. It was quite fun actually. It's new to me doing it that way, I must admit. Normally I come in and watch a video 3 or 4 times and then I'll pop comments underneath. But yeah, so it was lovely being over on Linda's channel and on Linda's live and seeing her reaction in real time. That was pretty much it for videos this week. As I told you, it was really quiet in this house. So you want to know why it was so quiet? That's because you bunch of toe rags that came on the birthday live stitched me up last week. Or was it last week, week before? You stitched me up because I asked you, what pattern would you like to see? Would you like it to, the next pattern out, to be a C2C? And you said yes. I was hoping you'd say no. I've got a nice quick and easy pattern down there that was for the no. But no, you stitched me up with a yes. Now last week I did show you this panel, which is the first panel of the Little Bird blanket. Okay, so now I am on to recording this section, which of course is the section that takes the longest, because just as I get into the swing of things and I finish the row, I have to put it down, lay everything out, do a little snippet telling you what you need to do. Then I pick it all up and I get going again, and I'm quite slow, and then I'm speeding up as I get to the end, and then I have to put it down again. Oh, it's really annoying. But I'm getting there. So as of Friday, I will say it to you like that. As of Friday, this is as far as I have got. We're not up to the turning point yet. I am working on it, but of course I've got lots of other things that are going on in the background and family stuff because it's school holidays this week, so I had to spend time with the daughter, didn't I? And the dog and the family. But school holidays. But yeah, I'm working on it, and hopefully I will have part 1 of the video set coming out to you next month. Under 7 days of work left to go, I hope. Fingers crossed. The written pattern will of course be launched first. We'll see how we go really as to what date that the written pattern comes out, and then of course on what date the tutorials themselves will start. I will be able to tell you more about that later on in the well, next month. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Now, poppies. No, no, I'm not talking about them this week. I didn't do many, so I don't need to. And it's not the end of the month, is it? Right, so next item. I've actually got a finished item, you see, that isn't poppy related. Now, earlier on in the month, I can't remember the exact date, I did write it down and then promptly lost the piece of paper I wrote it down on. But earlier on in the month, I was over at Koala Corner. Sorry, I'm looking down at my label so that I know. I was over at Koala Corner and she was having a live and I'd popped on and I actually won one of her patterns. I was so chuffed because I don't normally go into people's competitions, especially at the moment if they're yarn related and they're from outside of the UK, because either I'm restricted because I'm in the UK and postage would be too much, or I just don't feel it's fair on the fellow creators. But if they're saying you've got a chance of winning a pattern, of course I can work from patterns. And I'm like, oh, Crojo's got a pattern, Crojo's got a pattern. So of course I was joining in on the live and seeing if I would be lucky enough to win one of her patterns, and I was so chuffed. Now I won the Easy Crochet Cow pattern. Now I didn't start it until about Tuesday night, Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, no, sorry. Started it Wednesday evening. Now it's a really beautiful design, but the problem I have is matching up the yarns that I have compared to what she was using, because of course she's over in America. So I can't remember what her pattern called for, and without pulling up the information and reading it word for word, which isn't the right thing to do, I just know I didn't have the right weight yarn in my stash, so I guessed. And I picked up this bulky 5 off of my shelf. Now I had 2 cakes of this stuff, the homespun, and it is the homespun stripes. Now I have got a little video coming out next week which shows you how the yarn works up. Okay, so that video will be out to you next week, where you will see a sneaky peek of this item that I'm about to show you. It's all ran the wrong way, I know, but this item I'm about to show you, you will see it laid out before it was put together, and added to, of course. And so I finished it, girl. I did. I went and finished your gorgeous pattern. Now it was lovely. It's one simple stitch. It's rows and rows upon rows of this really lovely stitch, which gives a really cool textured cow. So now I've got to attempt to get it on over the top of this one. I really chose the wrong item of clothing today. Right, okay, so here goes. I'm not very good with modelling my own stuff, by the way. That's why Dory gets it. Okay, so I'm thinking that maybe I should have I don't know, maybe done a couple of extra rows to give me a bit more oomph. But here's my take on it using that yarn. Now that yarn is it's come out so thick. I'm not used to making bulky projects. Okay, so it is a number 5, and I can't read the packaging, it's too small. And I used, but basically it's a 5 weight yarn. I used a 6mm J hook to create it. And how can I put it politely, this yarn is evil to work with. I was pretty much doing it blind. I could not make out my stitches properly, so I was going by feel. There's a hole, go to the side of it, boink, to do the stitches, and that's how I worked it. But the pattern itself is beautiful, and I think if I downsized it to a yarn that I'm used to working with, or at least had a yarn that wasn't as hard to work with, I think I could have knocked it up even quicker than what I did. In total, I think it took me about 6 hours to do, but that's because I was working blind with the yarn. I shouldn't really say it as in working blind, but I was working more by feel. Okay, so this is it. It's got a beautiful roll edge. Now I was having issues reading the pattern at the end because I just got my new glasses that I'm wearing today, So if I'm pulling funny faces, it's because I'm still trying to focus. They're stronger than my previous pair, and I am finding it quite difficult reading print, because the print is bouncing around like there's no tomorrow. I get it anyway because I'm dyslexic. I get bouncy writing, but it's even more bouncy. It's so I'm trying my hardest not to read a lot of print on screen at the moment. I can get away with reading my own handwriting. That for some reason that's not bouncing at the distance I'm holding it at, so I'm happy with that. But I cannot read that text. I haven't got the reading glasses on, and I'm not even risking putting them on at the moment because I haven't got my eyes used to my long distance, and of course I need them for driving. But when it came to doing the last section of the pattern, I just couldn't read it because it was bouncing too much for me. And I noticed at the bottom of her pattern she said tutorial on YouTube. Boink, there I am typing in her channel name, going down, finding the pattern and watching the section that I needed, which was how to sew the thing together and how to create this rolled neck. And just because I couldn't work it, out, the brain wasn't there, and I wanted to get it finished. So yep, so her video got an entire watch. I skipped through to the bit I needed to start with, and then as I was putting it together, I scooted it right back to the beginning and let the video play through, and any ads that popped up as well, because hey, that's how I like to support the creators if I can, is by playing the video, including the ads. Especially if you're doing a row anyway and you've got the information, you already know the information, why not let the ad run? It's a little bit extra to help them out. Now this took 1 and a bit of these cakes, so I had leftovers and I'm like, what am I going to do with the leftovers? So I did comment on her video saying, have you got a hat yet? Have you got a hat? But she was asleep when I put the message up, so there's not been a response yet. So instead I made headband, or ear warmer I think they're called, using the same stitch, but also using the method where you join it together and it makes it look pleated. Sorry, I don't know what it's called. So in total, I'm not very good at wearing things like this. Oh, it's not come out too bad. So in total, that is what it will look like if I wore it like that. If I want it on the side, it looks like that. But I will probably end up wearing it like that because it's not falling off my head like hats do, because when I bend my neck, that's when I push hats out the way, and because of the little fold of where it's joined, it's perfect. So yeah, so here is the set, or at least I thought this was as far as I was going to go, but I still had yarn left, so I got carried away. It's not perfect, not by a long shot, and it's not finished yet, but I made fingerless glove. Okay, it could do with a bit more length, but I'm playing yarn chicken at this point because I don't know how much is left on my spindle, and I can't centre pull to make the colours match either, so it's going to drive me insane. But I'm going to attempt to make another one of these, and if there's more yarn left, I'll do an extra row of ribbon on this one and then an extra row of ribbon on the one that's left. If I run out of yarn, Liam will have a new glove to chase if we get snowing this week or next, because the weatherman said it might be snowing. So if we get snow, this is easily going to get used. It is so hot and warm and thick, and oh, I'm burning up, and I really should have not bothered putting a jumper on today. Let me just take this off, because yeah, that is beautiful and it is so hot. So I was wearing that last night because I had the back door open so Liam could run in and out because he was doing my head in, and I was wearing that and a little t-shirt, and my husband came in and he went, "It's freaking freezing in here," and I went, "I can't feel it," and he's like, "Oh, for God's sake, woman." So yeah, he closed the door, put the heating back on, and confiscated them and put them in here for today's video. He's like, no, we're not playing this. I'm just going to wear what I've created all day every day, so you don't have to save on electric and gas, girl. He's gone, we're all in the house. I'm like, okay, darling. Right, so at the moment I'm trying to go through all of my playlists and squidge them down so there's not so many of them. That's a big task. It may take me a year or so, but my plan is to have a less playlists with lots of different categories and just have more playlists that are amalgamated into one. But I've been naughty. I've created another playlist this week, which is called the Received Cotton playlist. Really nice, really simple. Basically, any video that is placed in there is videos of people opening their packages from me that contain the hand-dyed cotton yarns that you see behind me. Or you don't, because they've got them. So at the moment we've got a couple of gorgeous girls in there with their videos showing what they got with their reactions as well. The latest one that went in was actually from our cheeky Sabrina earlier on this week. She tried to sneak that video out, but she tagged me in it, so it didn't work. You know, I'm only playing Sabrina, you know that because I've already said. Now Sabrina has had a couple of orders from me, so of course there are a couple of videos already in there, but this is her new one, so this is video number 3 for her in that playlist. She ordered something a little bit different this time. So if you want to have a nose, I will pop a link to that playlist up there. But now in Sabrina's video, she said that she wasn't going to open her new yarn and start working on it because she's already got a project on the go, which she has, and it's a knitting project, and it's going to take her a while to do because there's lots of stitches on them their knitting needles. She had shown me a tiny section of it, which I may or may not have shown you already. I can't find the photo, so I'm not showing it to you again because I don't want to spoil the finished item, because I can't remember if it was don't show anybody because it's a surprise, or you can show people. So I'm not going to, because I physically cannot remember, and I forgot to ask her earlier when I spoke to her. Yeah. Pew. Brain dead moment. Okay, so now I'm going to try and read a little bit of our private message. I have said to her I'm going to do this, and she said that's perfectly fine because she knows I cut out anything that's not yarn related. Okay, so where is it? She says, oh, by the way. As soon as she says, oh, by the way, I know that she's done something naughty in a loving way. And she said, by the way, I did get one skim ready and I just finished and took a picture. There was a knock on the door just before I typed my message, so minutes ago. I got my second colour. So guess who's starting a new project with your absolutely stunning gorgeous yarn? I'll send you a picture just now. And then she's buttering me up because she knows she's in trouble, because I said I want to see one finished project first before you start the next. She said, your yarn made me smile already this morning. That is brilliant. That is what I love reading. I love to know that either the videos that you're watching that I'm creating, or the yarn you've received or ordered, or anything like that. I love knowing that it's made you smile and it's made your day a little bit cheerier. Now, we did have a good old chinwag chat, and we discussed lots of other bits and pieces, and then we just gave up typing and had FaceTime. So that's why the lighting in here has changed, because we spent a good 2 hours having a right old gas bag. We were a right old chat. Yeah, so here we go. Here are the photos. So that's it. There's no stopping her. That's another project she's starting with the cottons that she's purchased from me. I love it, and I love her excitement within her videos where she's opening her yarn, because it's just so true. It's beautiful. Her videos are beautiful to watch. I will be cheeky, and I have said to her, look, I do put you on fast forward a little bit, because of course I speak fast. I'm used to listening to fast, and she makes sure that all of her videos can be understood. So she speaks a little bit slower than what I'm used to, so I do put her on fast forward, and then I end up watching it 3 or 4 times anyway. So I don't feel so guilty. Right, so now I've got a couple more photographs of the same yarn for you. These are the ones that were originally taken by me, and used on the Fun Day Die Day video. I believe it was a number 2 that these were worked into. Of course, I will either have the link to that video up there, or it will be in the description box and down below, just in case you haven't had a chance to watch it. Now you know where the yarn is now living, and I can't wait to see what it's going to end up like. What colours has she mixed with the rainbow? I really don't know. Now it's time for the best bit of today's video, which is your photos. Now, there is a little bit of a backstory on this photograph that I've received today. It's from our cheeky Amigurumi Ninja. Now, she won a winners only pattern a little while ago, which was for no strings. Now, when you see the image, it is not complete, not by a long shot. She's got a bit more to go yet. You'll understand that reference in a moment. If, of course, you don't know what on earth I'm talking about when it comes to the no strings pattern. Now, the no strings pattern is a winner only pattern because it is based off of a Disney character. Yes, I've said the word wrong. If you're new to the channel, that is so I don't get done for copyright. Now, I don't sell these patterns. The only way you can get your hands on them is to win them via a vault pass on a live or a competition that I may run on the channel at some point. Right, but as I said, she fired me over a picture today. Now, she has been having a little bit of issue because instead of going by the written box counts within the written pattern, she decided to count the boxes all herself and go from the other corner. So it drove her insane because at one point it wasn't quite working. This is her messaging me now. It wasn't quite working. So she decided she was going to bin that and start again. Hopefully she'll have just undone it and wound it up to reuse it. Now, she is using a 4mm hook, and how do I know this? Because it's just pinged up. That was what that ping was. She's using a 4mm hook and a DK weight yarn. I will get some more details and give them to you when the item is actually finished. But this is how far she's got already, and by all accounts, she's only been at it for 3 days. It's amazing the amount you've done, although she hasn't hit a corner yet. But that is because it is a big fat pattern. You'll understand what I mean in a minute when I shut up talking and I show you the picture. Let me show you now. Now, I don't have a list of the colours that Ninja's using as yet. But I will ask for that once the item is finished. Now, please remember, this is going to take her a little while, although she has been speedy, and what she's got so far has only taken her 3 days. He has a big nose, so it might take a little bit longer for her to finish the blanket. But as soon as she has, and she sends me over a photo, of course, I will show you all, because this is the very first no strings pattern to have been made or attempted to be made that I know of. If you have actually got this pattern and you have made it, where's my photo? How can I show off your work if you don't show me the photo? But Ninja, you're doing an absolutely amazing job. Keep an eye in the comment section down below, because I'm sure a couple of other crazies will be asking you questions too. Right, so now I've got to work out what I'm doing this week. Now, of course, I am going to be crocheting up the little bird pattern so that I will have that tutorial out to you at some point, but I can only really do that when the house is quiet and there's no one around. So that's my daytime project, which means I need another evening project. Okay, I've got to finish that one glove off. Fingers crossed that I have enough yarn, but if I don't, we both know Liam is going to get a new glove to play with. But once I've done that, I have got a shawl pattern that I really want to make, but the yarn calls for a 2/8, and I don't have a great deal of 2/8 yarn in the quantities that I'm going to need. So I think I might upsize it, because I've got a lot of DK, and I'm thinking, will it work on a DK weight yarn? I haven't checked to see what the creator thinks of me doing it in a DK. But what I plan to do is use up some of my Audi stash, because I'm not purchasing any more of it, am I? And I've got a lot of different colours there, so it may end up being a bit of a who's who on the colour front. And look, I've used this one, and look, I've used that. But I'm going to give it a go, see how it looks and how big it gets up to a certain point. But I also need to make sure that I read through the pattern first to see where the changes are and to see whether it's going to work. So a little bit of trial and error this week with that pattern. If it doesn't work in the DK, that's fine. I will just have to purchase more yarn. Oh, I'm on a yarn ban, but not for this one. I like this new pattern, but I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, because I don't want to spoil the surprise. And I want to also see if she can guess if it's her pattern. Yeah, total evil. Right, but anyway, I'm going to actually head off now, because I think I've run out of things to say and I've talked your ear off enough. So I'm going to say, please remember, stay chilled, stay happy and keep crafting. Goodbye everybody. Have a lovely weekend and week.